Sundance. Sundance was in the video just before this. We talked about his history. Sort of like he was something I would bring into my circle. And he just got shaved. He just got shaved. His whole hair was matted all around his neck and his thighs and under his chest, and full of old foxtails that were stuck in his skin, and cockle burrs and sores and all kinds of history, in a sense, that he was wrapped up in. It made him big, much bigger too. My other dog, Chasta, she was pretty aggressive towards him, and it seemed like she just wasn't going to change her mind about that at all. And once he got shaved, she came up and smelled him, and he was okay. So it was like all that matted hair and old history around him made him look more formidable. It's like a person who sort of wears their history as an armor. And it does sort of distance people from them. It's sort of a hard layer that's part of their protection, part of their stance in the world. So now that Sundance has been shaved, he's much more vulnerable. In fact, he's sitting in the shade right now, which is good because he could get a sunburn. So he's much more exposed, but yet more accessible by the other dogs. So think of it as a person that, without all that old history wrapped around them as protection, but now they're more accessible. And their own life within them is more accessible. It's as if they've softened both to themselves and to the world. And that softness is more easily entered and allows entrance to inside of themselves. And for him, Sundance, that he'll feel the warmth of the sun. The wind will be on his skin. It will touch him. So it's as if without all this protection, there's more vibrant life, more experience of it. It's more accessible to us. And we're not so wrapped up in our experience, so that our deeper, pure innocence is completely smothered and hidden. How do we go through life? It's difficult at times, and we're trying to survive, and yet still have that innocence alive and in balance, and yet still able to tap into the experiences that had given us wisdom. Innocence doesn't know. why it's innocent. It doesn't have presumptions about anything. It may not even have a name for everything, whereas experience knows. But it's this dance between balanced innocence and balanced experience. It creates the flow from which our imagination can flower. And from that imagination, this human creative impulse that goes all the way back into our movement from, if you believe in evolution, but it doesn't really matter. This humanness is so much about creativity and invention. And it doesn't matter what you do in life. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. And yet everybody is an artist, so everybody's creative. In many of these videos and teachings, I use rocks and sticks and all manner of things to feed my imagination that can then weave and bring things forth in a way that's understandable to you. So our creativity with language allows us to go further than literal meaning, linear meaning, to a non-linear meaning of poetry and music. And the visual arts of painting, sculpture, architecture. Human history is the history of creativity. Even now, with our electronical toys and tools. But in this quest for the deep heart of who we are, it's by invoking our creativity that we can see beyond what our experience thinks it knows it sees, to something that you can't see with the physical eyes, that you sense in the mystery of it all. All the great spiritual teachers have also been almost like poets, and they're bringing language together to help others understand, although perhaps many would say their greatest teaching is quiet. Few are able to just let that be it. They need words to help them understand. Creativity brings the head into the heart. For the circle. So in this talk of the medicine of one and of the circle, there's a lot of creativity. Without creativity, without my creative impulses and something in me wanting to express, that comes to me through music, singing, poetry, writing, body, form, dance, the use of my voice when I'm doing a healing session and hitting on words and the tones. So the words are like a poetry, the tones, and the emotional flexibility to echo what is invisibly on the other side almost. So in this shamanism and Advaita, there's much creativity. Shamans were artists. Shamans were actors. Shamans used theater. But it's that dance between that innocence and experience. When they aren't ruled by old stories, it turns innocence into the victim and experience into the warrior. And in that way, it's all out of balance. And it's no longer a deep wisdom. The wisdom of the innocence gets lost, and the wisdom of the experience becomes a kind of analytical, tight. To not know allows for something new to emerge from creation. So this medicine of one, it's about magic. That takes you to the real. The magic is born from within the circle and is part of that one. It's not an illusion that has separated off from the one in order to create an unreal world. Everything that moves in here is part of that one, as long as you are anchored in that. So love your creativity and don't let anybody judge it. When I say don't let anybody judge it, we can't control other people. So don't let other people's words stop your creativity. Because really, it's your own words that they're speaking that stop it. Let the journey home have a wonder, an innocence, a creativity, and let all your experience, no matter what, gift you with wisdom.